Have you ever wondered what really happens when you start a car? You turn the key or press a button, the engine comes to life, and suddenly a heavy machine starts moving on the road. But how does that actually happen? How can a small amount of fuel make a car move? And what is going on inside the engine every second? Today, we are going to explore the simple science behind car engines. And once you understand it, you will never hear an engine sound the same way again. Before we begin, if you enjoy discovering the hidden science behind everyday things, be sure to subscribe to Secret Behind Things and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Now, let's find out how car engines work. The first thing to understand is this. Most regular cars use something called an internal combustion engine. That sounds complicated, but the idea is actually simple. Combustion means burning, and internal means it happens inside. So an internal combustion engine is a machine that burns fuel inside itself to create power. That power is then used to move the car. The engine does not simply spin by magic. It uses tiny controlled explosions. Yes, explosions, but very small ones. And they happen inside strong metal chambers called cylinders. Inside each cylinder, there is a moving part called a piston. The piston moves up and down. This up and down movement is the beginning of engine power. But how does the piston move? That is where fuel and air come in. A car engine needs three main things to create power: fuel, air, and a spark. The fuel is usually petrol or gasoline. The air comes from outside the car, and the spark comes from a small part called a spark plug. When fuel and air mix together inside the cylinder, the spark plug creates a tiny spark. This spark burns the fuel-air mixture very quickly. That quick burn creates hot, expanding gases. These gases push the piston downward with force, and that push is what creates power. But the piston moving down is not enough by itself. The car needs spinning motion to turn the wheels, so the piston is connected to a part called the crankshaft. As the piston moves up and down, the crankshaft turns this movement into rotation. In simple words, the piston moves up and down, and the crankshaft turns round and round. That rotating power is sent through the transmission, then to the wheels, and the car starts moving. This whole process happens very fast. In a running engine, pistons move up and down hundreds or even thousands of times every minute. Now, most car engines work using a 4-stroke cycle. This means the engine completes 4 steps again and again. The first step is intake. The piston moves down, and the engine pulls in air mixed with fuel. The second step is compression. The piston moves back up, and it squeezes the fuel-air mixture into a smaller space. This is important because a compressed mixture burns more powerfully. The third step is power. The spark plug creates a spark. The fuel burns. The expanding gas pushes the piston down. This is the step that actually creates power. The fourth step is exhaust. The piston moves up again, and it pushes the burnt gases out of the engine through the exhaust system. Then the cycle starts again. Intake, compression, power, exhaust, over and over, many times every second. This is how a car engine keeps running. Now you might wonder, why does an engine need so many cylinders? Some engines have 4 cylinders, some have 6, some have 8, and some have even more. More cylinders usually mean more power because more fuel can be burned at the same time. But more cylinders can also use more fuel. That is why many modern cars use smaller engines designed to be more efficient. Another important part of the engine is the valves. Valves act like small doors. Some valves let air and fuel enter the cylinder. Other valves let exhaust gases leave. These valves must open and close at exactly the right time. If the timing is wrong, the engine will not run smoothly. This is why engines are carefully designed and controlled. Everything must happen in the right order, at the right time, again and again. The engine also gets very hot. Remember, fuel is burning inside it constantly, so cars need a cooling system. Coolant flows through the engine and carries heat away. The radiator helps release that heat into the air. Without cooling, the engine could overheat and become damaged. The engine also needs oil. Oil reduces friction between moving parts. Without oil, metal parts would rub against each other, heat up, and wear out very quickly. That is why engine oil is so important. It helps the engine run smoothly and last longer. Now, when you press the gas pedal, you are not directly adding speed to the wheels. What you are really doing is asking the engine for more power. The engine takes in more air and fuel. It creates stronger combustion. The crankshaft spins faster, and the car speeds up. When you release the gas pedal, the engine uses less fuel. The car slows down or maintains a lower speed. Modern cars use computers to control much of this process. Sensors measure air, fuel, temperature, oxygen, engine speed, and many other things. The car's computer uses this information to keep the engine running efficiently. This is why modern engines are more powerful, cleaner, and more fuel-efficient than older engines. But the basic idea is still the same. Fuel and air go in. A spark starts combustion. The piston moves. The crankshaft spins. And that power moves the wheels. It sounds simple. But inside the engine, this process is happening with incredible speed and precision. Every time you drive, thousands of tiny controlled burns are happening under the hood. Each one helps push the car forward. So the next time you start a car, remember what is really happening. You are not just turning on a machine. You are starting a carefully timed system of air, fuel, sparks, pistons, and motion. It is not magic. It is engineering. And it is one of the most important inventions that changed the way humans travel. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Secret Behind Things for more fascinating stories and simple explanations behind the everyday things we often take for granted.